Hello and welcome to another episode of Breaking Mayberry, the show that never trusted the process to begin with. I'm one of your hosts, Marty Schneider.
I'm the other host, Dan Ludwig.
Oh, the Sixers didn't make it out of round two. This is extreme. We're going to get extremely Philly-centric right now, listeners. We're really gunning to get on one of those, like, Philadelphia podcast those lists. The Sixers lost today in Boston, Game 7. The Sixers never make it out of round two of the playoffs. They never they haven't in years. They never will. It was hard for me this year. It was hard for me because I wanted the Sixers to go to the finals and lose, because then Philadelphia would have lost like 4 major sporting events.
I know.
In 6 months.
This season would have been legendary.
I love this team. I love the Sixers, but like also if they had won the championship, they would have fought to put a fucking stadium in Chinatown. They would have put a stadium in Chinatown, and
it would have happened.
Pissed. It would have happened. So really, best for all of us.
Quick summary for people who aren't familiar with stuff going on in Philly. We have a whole section of our city down to the south that is stadiums. It's just where we keep it all. It's kind of like sort of has a Disneyland for drunk assholes effect.
It's very convenient in some ways, but also inconvenient in another. Because like, there's only like one bar you can go to after the game, and it sucks.
It is a gateway to hell. It is its primary attraction is what's the bull ride? A mechanical bull, where get to watch some women be on a mechanical bull, and a line of creepy dudes just lean against a wall and leer. But yeah, so it's all tucked away in its nice little area, and they want to blow up Chinatown to build a stadium there.
The Sixers have decided they're too fucking good to share a stadium with our terrible hockey team, so they want their own, and they're willing to blow up part of downtown, mainly because like the Sixers don't want to share, and also because the city wants us to be like New York so badly. They want us to be New York. They're trying to make that spot Times Square. They want their own Madison Square Garden. This makes nobody happy except for real estate developers. So turns out the Sixers aren't too good for anything.
Yeah, bitch.
Because they lost like 111-88 today. God damn it. I don't like taking joy in their loss. I love the Sixers, but man, hooray, fuck you. I'm very conflicted right now. Speaking of conflicts and Philadelphia stuff, Dan, 10 years ago, I went on a bad, boring date with a girl from OkCupid. And I don't remember anything about the date. We didn't have any chemistry. We weren't very, but the girl started talking about how she was politically active. And I cut the date off early. I said, I pulled a check, please, and bailed early after an hour of talking to her, because she mentioned about some of her political activism. And she said that one of her big causes was that she was part of a group that was lobbying to get fluoride out of city water.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man, that's a level of new age belief that I can't get on board with. I understand being doubtful of studies, but we've proven time and time again that fluoride at worst does nothing. At best, it keeps a lot of poor kids from having cavities. It's like being anti-sunscreen. Sometimes you see memes for people who are against the idea of sunscreen. Anyway, so yeah, she told me she's trying to get fluoride out of city water, and I called and I bailed the check. Today I voted for her for Philadelphia City Council.
Holy shit!
She's running for Philadelphia City Council, and I voted for her today. Because, honestly, politically, I align with her on most other things. And it's been 10 years. Maybe she dropped the fluoride anti-science thing. So I voted for her. I'm not going to say her name, but, if anybody listening is local and is, into Philly politics, you could probably figure out who it is. But also, I think our podcast is low stakes enough. Plus, by the time this airs, it'll be well after the election. I voted for her today. She's probably going to win.
So
that was weird. It was weird casting that ballot.
What probably happened was she went home from that date and she was like, I think I got to drop this as a political platform. It can't even get me through a date with Marty, let alone into office. I kind of did a focus test on this platform, and it received incredibly negative reviews. Because if she's going on a date with you, that probably means you're her target demo.
I'm the target demo.
Yeah.
I'm who she's trying to get them votes from.
Yeah.
That's incredibly self-centered of me to say.
I'm leaning into your narcissism, where she's basically like...
She just walks back to her manager and says, this platform is not going well with white males ages 18 to 35. My sample size is that guy.
That dickhead. Well, I think you do have to, if you're looking at it from an analytic perspective, there is no more receptive platform for a cause that you are espousing than a first date, where you can say, usually, some crazy shit, and whoever is across the table will probably tolerate it more than they normally would. So, under those circumstances, it still bombed. So yeah, hopefully that kind of like shook her out of it, and she was like, I still believe in it, but you know what? I'm going to backburner that one. We'll get to it when I've achieved elected office by talking about other stuff.
We're going to get a rent control, and then we're going to work on the fluoride thing.
You know what's going to happen is, like, one of those Project Veritas dickheads is going to, like, dig up this recording and be like, which city council person are these white guys talking about? and we're just going to be shocked and be like, how are we on anybody's radar? And it's just going to be like, we have interns listening to everything all the time.
Dan, I have been sitting on this story since she announced her candidacy. Like, it's been a year. I've been sitting there like, can I tell anybody this? It's not that interesting. But, like, I guess I've decided now, 2 days before the election, now's the time to drop it.
The last election cycle, a candidate called me, and he was running for city council.
Oh, she called me, too. She called me and asked for money and did not remember me. Or at least didn't know me my name. Or she probably only knew it was the first
Did she come up as a contact in your phone?
No.
Because
no. Also, they used like number generators too for all those things.
Because Paul Prescott, who was running for office in Philadelphia, gave me a call, and he came up in my phone. I have all my contacts from when I was a drunk college activist. The number that came up was Union Guy.
That's what he was running as. That's his platform.
Yeah, he was doing union shit back in the day.
I didn't have her in my phone as like cavity lover.
I picked
the plaque queen. Nemesis of Timmy the toothbrush. Just have her in my contacts as this bitch hates teeth.
Just first name, this bitch. Last name, hates teeth. Oh, fuck.
I pushed the character limit on my T-Mobile sidekick for that one.
I told the guy I had his number saved in my phone, and he immediately, like, saw blood in the water. I was like, can you donate $500?
Yeah.
He was like, all right, this is the best shot I ever got for a whale. And he was like, you know me. We've drank together. Come on, man.
It's like that scene on the rooftop of The Departed. You know who I am!
You know me! We've been through stuff together, man. We sat through horrible presentations. We're blood brothers. You gotta give me $500 right now.
Yeah, except instead of shooting Anthony Anderson in the head, you give him $500.
Yep. I gave him $500. He lost pretty soon after that.
He lost. It was. I also voted. He ran. He was in a tough campaign.
Yeah.
Did you? I know you didn't give him $500. You gave him money though, right?
No, I gave him $500.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude!
Yeah, I gave in to the moment. Like, he was like, oh yeah, so can you donate like $500? And I was like, yeah, I can donate $500. And then I was like, I'll just decrease that amount slightly when the time comes to donate. And then he texted, he was like, 500, that's what we have you down for. And I was like, fuck, he's got me.
He sent you a Venmo request right then and there? Because he also had your number?
I think I got a text. I was like, hey man, thanks for pledging $500. And I was like, shit.
You're in his phone as this bitch hates money.
Yeah. I think he logged off and he was like, put him on every list. We got ourselves a piñata. Let's hit it. Oh, shit.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah?
Give me $500.
No, run for
Okay.
office.
I figured it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Today
So-
we're going to do 2 episodes, right? Because
Mhm.
one of them is just nothing. And honestly, neither of them are close to anything. But let's start. We're going to do seasons 5, episode 9 and 10. Episode 9 is called Opie's Fortune. Originally airs November 16th, 1964. Written by Ben Jolson and Art Bayer. And we've never seen them before. Directed by Kobe Ruskin. And directed by Kobe Ruskin. And here is your 1-sentence summary from Wikipedia. Opie finds a wallet containing $50 and must wait 1 week to see if anyone claims it. If not, the money is his. But let's not do that one. Let's do the next one. Let's
skip it.
I mean, we'll come back to it. But let's do episode 10. Goodbye, Sheriff Taylor.
Did you forget we decided to skip that one first?
Yeah.
Did you just get too into the groove?
Yeah, no, I'm a creature of habit, if nothing else. Episode 10, Goodbye, Sheriff Taylor. Originally airs November 23rd, 1964. Written by Fred Freeman and Lawrence J. Cohen. Great name of a pair of dudes. Great name of a pair of dudes.
Give him to me again. Give him to me again. I want to savor
it. Fred Freeman and Lawrence J. Cohen.
Those are some classy ass names.
And I'm looking at the list. We're gonna see them a little bit later, but they're gonna do like a Lennon McCartney thing and keep flipping. Next time we're gonna see them, it's Lawrence J. Cohen and Fred Freeman, and directed by Gene Nelson. And this is, I think, the first time we've seen Gene Nelson. Is there anything interesting about him? No. And here's your 1-sentence summary from Wikipedia. Andy makes Barney acting sheriff when he goes to Raleigh for a job interview. So that's the one we're going to start with. Goodbye, Sheriff Taylor.
This episode, in addition to a lot of things, is a crucial piece of anti-Griffith Show canon, especially in the context of the makeshift narrative that we've hobbled together about Andy no longer wanting to live in this town. It is validated, and a crucial piece of development for Barney is established in this episode. So It's kind of like it's like a continuity episode in Cheers or something, where like story beats happen.
It feels like this should be like the beginning of the end. It feels like this show should be like winding down, because the main character has announced in no uncertain terms, I don't think I want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Like, Andy looks dead into the camera and goes like, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really like this anymore and would prefer to leave. And then the show is like, but we're going to convince you that you want to stay. And he's like, still don't want to stay, but you kind of have to. And I'm fine with that. I'm not particularly upset, but like,
I wonder if there's like a meta narrative going on here. I wonder if this is going on. I wonder if this was written around the time that Don Knotts announced his intention to leave the show.
Yeah.
So, right, because Don Knotts isn't going to be on the show after this season. So I kind of wonder if this is kind of written to make fun of him, or written to like poke at him, like, hey, guess what happens when you leave Mayberry? Chaos, motherfucker. And to be clear, right, we've seen this happen before. There's been a couple of times when Andy had to leave or whatever, and Barney was left in a position of power as acting sheriff, and it's always gone like full fascist.
Yes,
it's always gone fascism and lockdowns immediately. This one goes the other direction. First off, it's important because it's the first time, and they call attention to it in the episode, it's the first time that he's getting ready to take over the job permanently. Every other time, it was like, Andy is coming back. This is the first time where it's like, this is going to be what you do from now on.
Yeah.
Instead of like the full like lockdown modes, or the full fascism that he's done before, it's just incompetent. He's just not good at it. It's endearing, honestly. It's endearing to watch a guy be bad at his job that he wants to be good.
It's I think this is the third time they've done it, and it is the least bad Barney has been in one of these. Where, he's just kind of been like a guy not being good at his job. I don't think he goes fash at all, really. I think he like starts to go fascist, and then he's like, no, we're just doing screwball comedy.
In fact, I will go ahead and point this out. This is a time when the medium was used for this. as soon as the idea is brought to Barney and he's left alone, he's considering the sheriff's chair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his theme song, which is the fucking Imperial Death March.
Yeah.
You know, his theme song, which is entitled Manhunt.
Yeah.
His theme song starts to play, but like almost slowly and wistfully. Bum 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 bum. Like he's about to ascend the throne to power. And then he gets into the seat, the sheriff's seat, and immediately falls the fuck over. It just immediately flips over. And it got a laugh out of me. I genuinely chuckled at that.
Let's I'm gonna say up top, this episode fucking rules. This episode actually kicks ass.
It's funny. I laughed at this episode.
I think it's the first banger of the season where it's like, it's good. It's good all the way through. It's funny. There are jokes, and they are good jokes, and then they do the good jokes some more, and then they just keep doing good jokes, and then the episode is over. And nobody does anything. I mean, there's a lot of dumb shit that we're gonna rip to shreds, but nobody does anything particularly infuriating.
Yeah, I don't love the way that the episode solves itself.
The third act of the episode is thankfully fucking deranged.
Yeah.
and highly illegal, but you know, it's still funny. So should we go through it beat by beat?
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so Barney walks in on Andy at the jail, and he's taking a phone call, and Andy's saying stuff like, yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, money sounds good. I'm not worried about it. Andy's doing zero negotiation whatsoever. Yeah, no, all right. That's a good deal. All right, I'll see you in a few days. And he hangs up, and Barney says, who is that? And so I guess it was an old friend of Andy's from the military or the academy or something. I don't know. He works as a detective in Raleigh. Maybe he's a hotel detective in Raleigh. He's not a hotel detective in Raleigh.
Hotel detective. Yeah. It's like an agency of high-end detectives.
I mean, I think he just works for the Raleigh police, right? He's probably like a PD.
No, it's a detective agency. He hires him to the private sector of police work.
Shit.
Which was a thing. Because I watch old episodes of Columbo and they're like, being a cop pays shit. Why don't you become a private detective at a private detective agency where we make millions of dollars? Basically, it's apparently a thing that they had up until the 70s where you could just stop being a police officer and go work in a high-tech crime lab. It's some Pinkerton's shit. Probably what they're actually doing is, union busting.
Oh, that's like Andy Griffith Union Buster.
Yeah, more or less.
Damn it, dude. That means we were robbed of an Andy Taylor PI spinoff.
Yeah!
What if after Barney left, that just became the show? Great. Every episode of Manhunt.
The episode is openly just kind of Mayberry fucking sucks, and we hate it here. For all the people that are obsessed with Mayberry, by this point in the show, all the main characters are this place is dog shit, and we wish we weren't here anymore.
Yeah, Mayberry's a little bit like Gilligan's Island. You cannot leave.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit like the Truman Show, right? I think that if Andy drives out far enough, he's just gonna hit a blue wall.
Yeah. Our old theory that they're on an alien zoo.
So yeah, Barney immediately gets upset when Andy says there's a chance he might take the job. He's been really thinking about it. Barney gets really upset. All this time we spent together, you're just gonna throw it away. You're really just gonna toss this aside. And sort of to placate him, Andy says, look, man, I've thought about this for a long time. I've been sheriff for 12 years. I gotta move on at some point, right? Everybody's gotta have a change, and you might have a change too, pal. And he straight up, I don't know if he means it or if he's just doing it to placate Barney. That's a good question.
When I wrote down when it was happening, he is just saying this to placate Barney and to get him off of his back, because Barney is we can't do this without you, and it's sort of we're friends. I thought what we had together means something, and you're just going to abandon me. He's
acting like they're breaking up, right? He's acting like you're trying to get your girlfriend to stay with you.
Yeah, no, basically, he's doing emotional blackmail.
Remember that vacation in Cabo, Andy?
Did it mean nothing to you? But
look at this teddy bear I won for you. You look at this bear and tell me you want to end.
What's her name, Andy? What's her fucking name? I'm gonna bring it up now. They list many reasons why Andy shouldn't move away. Opie's friends, general inertia, Aunt B having a social life here, Barney's feelings, and at no point is Helen Crump even vaguely mentioned as a reason Andy should stay.
Not once.
Nobody.
Not once. It's like, I think these are new writers, right? We've never seen these writers before. I think that they missed the memo. I think that, like, when they came in, they're like, boy, I'm sure happy to work on the Andy Griffith Show. Oh, here's our show Bible. Here's our cast of characters. Is there anything missing here? And Everett Greenbaum and Jim Fritzl were like, no! And then they went back to their weird, like, LSD-fueled orgy.
Yeah. They're in the thick of it now. They've done a couple episodes about pansexuality, and now they're on a journey. So everybody, I'm assuming that they got like 4 episodes in, and somebody was like, "Hey, you guys haven't used Helen Crump in a while," and they're like, "We haven't." And let me ask you a question: who the fuck is Helen Crump?
Who is
and
that?
then they're just like. There was a girlfriend the entire time? And there was like, oh yeah, we forgot. We keep her in a storage closet. Do you wanna use that?
Every time they handed out scripts and Anita Coruscant didn't get one, what do you think ran through her head? Because remember, she's fucking the boss.
Yes! Holy shit!
Remember, Andy Griffith and Anita Coruscant are having an affair in real time at this point. Right?
But
so every time scripts don't get handed to her and they're like, okay, we'll call you when we need you, Anita. What the fuck is she think is going on?
What it is like Andy Griffith calls her at like 3 a.m. is like, listen, the wife's getting suspicious. We need to write you out of a couple of episodes until things cool off. We have too much white hot chemistry on the Andy Griffith Show. She's asking questions. Yeah. We'll bring you back in a little bit. Helen Crump's gonna go on a field trip.
The reasons why people do say that Andy should stay, Aunt B just doesn't want to leave. She's old. Yeah. She's an old person. Yeah. Although the fact of the matter is, Aunt B, didn't she come from Raleigh? She came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
The first episode was Aunt B moving to Mayberry to take care of Opie. Also, that reminds me, real quick, I'm just going to take a detour. I hate that I have opinion about this, and I hate that I'm mad about this. Paramount Plus's treatment of the Andy Griffith Show is a goddamn travesty.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Paramount Plus, can you give, like, a server to the Andy Griffith Show? Oh my God. It's like watching a QuickTime video. But worse than that, the description of the Andy Griffith Show is wrong. So, like, the one sentence description that they have of the Andy Griffith Show when you're, like, flipping through the streaming service is wrong. It says, Andy Taylor and his son Opie moved to Mayberry to be sheriff, a town that has no crime. And I sit there going, they didn't fucking go anywhere. They didn't move. They lived here. We open in media res. They've been here the whole time. They don't move to Mayberry. What is wrong with you? Number one, why do I care about this? Number two, why don't you care about this? You're CBS. This is your shit.
It's your thing. The episodes look like they're rendered on a Game Boy Color. Like, do you remember those like old things people used to do when the iPod Touch came out and people were like, if we jailbreak it, we can make it run the Matrix. And then it looked like absolute dog shit. It looks like that.
I saw a video, like a TikTok recently, of somebody who got Doom to run on a TI-86 like Texas Instruments calculator. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I hate this.
There's
Get your shit together, Paramount Plus, or I'm not gonna give you the money I don't give you anyway, because why would I pay for Paramount Plus?
Oh, God. I'll be watching it, and I'll be like, well, that's either Andy Griffith's head or a moving car, and I'm not sure which it is.
Okay, so they can't move because Andy's got dependents, right? He's got an old lady now and a young boy. And Opie's like at the age, he's like what, 9?
Mm-hmm.
8 or 9 now? Like he's probably 4th grade. This is your last opportunity, right? If you have a kid, you've got until they hit double digits to move.
Mm-hmm.
Before you like destroy their entire life.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's gonna get out, he gotta get out now, or he's stuck there until Ronnie Howard graduates college. He's stuck there until Ronnie directs Apollo 13.
And Aunt B's arguments why they should stay are dog shit. It's basically just like, all my friends are here, all of Opie's friends are here, which, okay, those aren't dog shit arguments, those are actually extremely valid.
Those are good arguments.
But
I am happy here.
Yeah, I am happy here. She doesn't even really lean
the
hard on
the way she phrases it is, she doesn't say my friends. Do you see? You're adding the word friends.
Yes.
What she says is, we're so used to everybody here.
That's what it is. I did a better version of her
everybody
arguments.
Here. Exactly. You're saying what it should have been. She says, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Which is a much more realistic way of putting it.
This place is comfortable. And her secondary argument is, you basically run the town.
She says that out loud. Just in case anyone's wondering, everyone's aware of it. We've been saying for years that the town isn't aware of it. The town's aware.
You are the benevolent dictator of this town. I'm pretty sure both mayors are dead, and they just have not filled the office. It's just kind of a state of anarchy when you're asleep. Her next argument is that when he leaves, Barney will destroy the town.
Yes.
Like, he goes like, well, the town pretty much runs itself. And she goes like, more like runs itself into the ground when you let Barney become mayor. And he's like...
I laughed at that line too.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And he just goes like, well... He references the previous times they've done this plot where it's like, yes, it has been a disaster the previous times, but he knew I was coming back, so he knew I could bail him out. Now that he has the actual pressure to be good at this job forever, he will get it together. So he does actually display, like, faith in his friend.
Yeah.
He is like, when push comes to shove, Barney will be good at this job.
So again, poking holes in our analysis, right? We've been thinking for a while that he's just stuck with them. No, he genuinely believes in Barney at this point. Or he's lying.
Yes, he's lying to himself.
This and to his Aunt B. Again, this man lies all the time. So
I think at this point, the important thing is, Andy truly does not give a shit what happens to this town. He fucking hates this place, and he hates everybody in it, and he just wants to leave. And he's willing to just basically give Barney a job that he is in no way qualified to do, if that can happen.
I'm still convinced, and I don't remember how long it's been in Showtime, but the turning point here was definitely that, like, old girlfriend from high school that showed up and said, hey, come live in Chicago with me, and he turned it down. And for months since then, maybe a year now, it's just been in his head. He's just like, I should have gone to Chicago.
Yeah, should have gone to Chicago.
Opie could go to school in Chicago. Like,
yeah,
he's been sitting there just sitting on, I should have gone to Chicago. And it's just been buried in the back of his head for years, for like a year now. And now he's looking for a way out. And this show goes on for another 3 goddamn seasons. So,
but now that I'm thinking about it, like, he could move to Chicago, I'm gonna say he would get eaten alive.
He would Chicago. Be miserable.
He would, because they would be like, Griffith, did you go fishing at 2 p.m. in the middle of a case? And he was like, yeah, man.
You got this big lake right here. It seemed like a shame to not take advantage of it.
Griffith,
it's like Griffith. 3 men were killed.
Yeah. Griffith, how did you solve this homicide? Well, I asked politely. I asked if anybody knew who did it, and they all said that nobody did. And I trust in the word of people, and these things sorted out. We'll catch him. I'd be like, it's been 9 months. You've been sitting on this forever. What have you been doing? Yeah, like,
I would have liked to see that spinoff. We just keep getting glimpses of better possible shows.
He can't move anywhere north of the Mason-Dixon. If he goes to Pennsylvania, he is gonna get annihilated by basic societal oversight. They're just going to basically be like, Andy, have you done your taxes in 20 years? And he'll be like, taxes. You get around to them when you get around to them. You go down, you pay like, what, $10, and then you're good for the next 4 years, right?
Andy's gonna be like, oh boy, sure am happy to be here in the great city of Philadelphia. And he's gonna get off the train at 30th Street Station. He's gonna stop outside. He's gonna take one breath, and a kid on a bike is gonna run by and be like, hey, watch those ears! There's a draft coming through. We don't want to lose you, old head. And then he's just gonna explode.
Yes!
He's just gonna die immediately.
You have to get slowly inoculated to northern roasting. You need to build up a tolerance. Because in this part of the country where he's in, like, a sick burn is like, oh, you walk like you got a shoe full of acorns, and they're like, oh no, I've been reduced to rubble. Oh, yeah. Opie would get bullied so hard. Like, he would be in school.
No, that I don't believe. I believe that Opie would... I believe that it would be like Tulsa King on Paramount Plus, a show I haven't watched, but he would be like the Sylvester Stallone, just like he comes as fucking small. No, it doesn't work like Tulsa King at all. Tulsa King's the exact opposite. Tulsa King's like
no idea what you're talking about.
Tulsa King's like a big city mobster comes to the small city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and runs that shit. I've got a feeling. Horrible. Yeah, and it stars Sylvester Stallone. Paramount Plus. No,
Paramount Plus, dog shit all the way down.
No. Paramount Plus does not sponsor the Breaking Mayberry.
Okay. No, because Opie is in Chicago. He's talking to his friends. His friends come up to him in school. They're like, Opie, what the fuck? We took you to the quarry to throw rocks at cats. We thought you were cool. We had a great time. Why does my dad know about it immediately? Like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, well, my dad asked me if I did anything bad today. And yeah, I told him that we committed several petty misdemeanors. And they're like, what are you talking about? That's not how this works. Like, he would be Opie the snitch because he just tells his dad everything, and his dad is a police officer.
Hold that thought until the next episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to this episode. Right now, Andy is on his way, and Opie, by the way, is like, so when are we leaving? In fact, Opie's the only one who brings up school. Opie's...
Yeah!
Remember, his dad is dating the teacher, and just a couple episodes ago, they said, yeah, we're officially a couple. And now they've forgotten her entire... I'm sorry, I can't get over this.
It's insane.
I like this moment. I like this bit. I like this moment where Opie's like, when are we going? And Andy's like, I don't know, it'll be a while. Like, I gotta take the job, and you gotta wait till the end of the semester of school. And Opie's like, you sure? Can't we go before my spelling test? And Andy says something like, hey man, they give spelling tests in Raleigh too. Go do your homework. It's a good moment. I liked it.
It's a nice little moment.
Good. Andy, look, even the thought of moving away makes him interact with his child more. He's so checked out.
The underlying thing is the primary reason to not move out of the town you're in is because you're a child. Because your kid would be like, I'm gonna miss my friends. What am I going to do? You're worried they'll have trouble adjusting. Opie could give a fuck. Yeah. Opie does not. Opie is willing to put this entire town and his entire social life in the fucking rear view, and just to avoid a spelling test. Either he's dumb as hell or a sociopath, or he just is like, these little fuckers are interchangeable. They're all blonde and named Todd or Tom. They all have three one-syllable names.
You think I'm sticking around for Johnny Paul Jason? That's one guy. Dad, yeah. That's one guy. His name is Johnny Paul Jason. That's who I have.
These people are made of cardboard.
Opie has seen what happens when you have one friend your entire life, and it's just the guy who lived closest. He has watched his dad make that mistake, and he sure as hell isn't doing that. He's not going to stick his own kid with an Uncle Johnny Paul Jason. Hell no.
Yeah.
He's breaking that cycle of violence.
He knows that all he has to do to make new friends and wherever they move is just go into school and be like, my dad has a gun, and 14 boys are like, what's up? Do you want to be best friends? Like, guess who's sleeping over my house to tell me about the gun? Like, let's go.
So Opie is on board. Aunt B is not, but only because she's old and doesn't want to change.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this so much. We haven't even gotten to the plot of the episode. Andy goes to Raleigh. And we get a scene that I think goes on a little too long, but it's still funny. Barney training his new deputies, the people that he's like trying out for deputy. And they are Goober Pyle, here seen for the first time as Gomer's replacement and fucking not doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
An old man named Judd and Otis. And Otis is the only bright spot of this entire shtick, man. Otis and Barney. The other two guys are superfluous. This entire scene, I know we've done it before, I don't care, could have just been Hal Smith and Don Knotts dicking around and for the exact amount of time, and it would have been better.
I have some thoughts about this lineup. My first question. Goober Pyle is wearing a hat.
That's his hat, his whoopee cap.
It's his hat for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same hat that Jughead wears, right?
It's called a whoopee cap, yes.
My question was going to be, is that a real fucking hat that people actually wore in real life?
That's a real hat that people wore in real life. It shows up in several movies. It is often worn by mechanics, so it does work in Goober's favor.
It looks so fucking stupid. I didn't realize that was a real hat outside of cartoons.
I had one for a while. I think I lost it when I moved, but yeah.
Burn it. Get rid of it. I swear, if you put that on today... Like, Sarah would just knock on the door and be like, apparently we're divorced? I don't know. I just got a text, and I guess I'm leaving you. Oh, it's the hat. You're wearing that hat. All right, I'll see you later, bud. Like, instant relationship ender.
All right, well, I feel like I got to put this to the test now. That's a real hat. I got no issues with the hat. What else you got? Other notes.
Okay. The other thing is, so Otis is back. He hasn't been in the show.
I haven't seen Otis in a while, like a year.
Yeah, definitely not this season.
And he's not drunk.
He's not drunk. Otis has a real sad energy to this. Like, Otis seems depressed. He's still funny. Hal Smith is still funny. And they still got that banter. But I think Otis quit drinking and his life is bottoming out. He's not drunk, and he does not seem like sobriety is treating him great.
He's just going through withdrawals for this entire time. That's okay. Don't worry, because we're gonna see. I see at least 3 episodes coming up where Otis's name is in the title. So
okay, cool. So Hal Smith is back, baby.
Hal Smith is back. You know who else is back in this episode? Howard McNear.
Yeah,
He's still not standing, but he's like able to do lines and be in more than one scene. And he's doing bits and he's doing he's back doing Floyd's weird, whatever the hell it is. I was like happy to see it. We had somebody in the Discord theorize that the reason why we kept seeing Howard McNear planted, even though he clearly wasn't ready to come back, is because maybe he needed those appearances to keep his SAG healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably needed like a certain number of credits. I don't know if that's how SAG worked in the 60s, but it seems like it. So he probably needed his health insurance. So I think that they just gave him like a scene here like every 6 episodes to fill his contractual obligation so he could keep his SAG membership, which is deeply sad. But
they're leaning, America's a nightmare. They're leaning into the fact that Howard McNear can't stand up. They've dialed up. Floyd is senile now. Floyd is severely cognitively impaired. He does not know, like, he's never really known what's going on, but his things were always 60% awareness of any given situation and pervert. And they dialed down the pervert and dialed up the situational unawareness.
I don't think that they dialed down the pervert, my man.
What does he get horny about?
I would disagree with this. Okay.
I think he has too little situational awareness to be horny.
Let's run through. I'm just going to run through the events real quick and we can talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Things do not go well when Barney steps into this. And this is just he tries out his deputies. He's got Goober, this old man Judd, and Otis. And for the like day and a half that he is sheriff, the phone is ringing off the hook. A little boy gets his head stuck in a sewer grate. Goober tries to like direct traffic, and suddenly like 12 cars descend upon Mayberry, including a whole fire truck. So there's a massive traffic jam, and people are all stuck in town square. It does not go well for him. He is very stressed out.
Yes.
So Barney realizes that he does not want to be sheriff. And in order to get Andy to stay, Barney puts his team, his crack team, Judd, Goober, Otis, and Floyd together, faking a crime spree. They do an Andy con in reverse. They're trying to con Andy and pretend that there's a crime spree and he has to stay. So they go around faking felonies, including faking an assault and robbery on Floyd's barbershop. So this is why I think that they didn't dial down the pervert, is because Andy shows up, to the call at Floyd's after they've made it look like he's ransacked. And Floyd is sitting in the barber chair, and he says, "Oh, Andy, there was a big man. Andy, there was a big man. He assaulted me. He pushed me, Andy. He shoved me. I've never been shoved so hard before by a human being, Andy."
Oh, no.
He does that.
Oh.
He does it.
Oh, God. Listeners, you heard a noise that Marty made at the end of that, and I want you to know that you're imagining a facial expression that he did along with it, and I want to know, yes, you are imagining right. He did do that with his face as he was doing that last sound.
We really got to start recording video on these.
Oh, we really don't. I think like our service providers will revoke our internet access. The FBI will come and take your hard drive if you put this on YouTube.
So that's it, right? The highlights of this, let's see.
Let's run back.
Anyway, that's my point is Floyd did not have the pervert dialed down. And yeah, it works that they're playing him senile because Floyd was always there, right? He was always gone.
But now he's like he's like a little Muppet, basically, where he just sits there and he's basically just like a sock puppet that's next to Barney that doesn't understand anything that's going on. So Barney is like, "Hey, Floyd, lie to Andy." And Floyd is like, "I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, Andy." He's like, "Damn it, Floyd."
Actually, it really works. There is kind of a nice shot composition that I thought where, like, they've got Floyd in the foreground and it's slightly at an angle. He's sitting on a bench because he can't stand. And Barney's like leaned up against the wall behind him. And it's a really nicely composed shot that they had to do probably because Howard couldn't stand up. And I really liked it. It looked good. It worked for the scene while Barney's sitting there pouting and like upset and scheming. I liked a lot of this stuff.
So I do want to let's go back because we kind of light speeded through a couple of plot points. So I do want to go back to basically Barney being sheriff is a disaster, and normally when it's a disaster, it's because Barney does something fascist. What Barney does wrong is he does an open draft for
deputies.
For deputy recruits. Basically, people that are going to try to be deputies while Andy is out of town. And then one of them will be promoted to full-time deputy when Barney gets the job. And what both Otis and Andy say is, "So, nobody signed up, huh?" And Barney's like, Yeah, nobody signed up. So basically he has the three dipshits that they don't want to be here.
They don't want to be there.
None of them want the job. Basically the problem is nobody wants the job of being Barney's deputy. Probably because the job is being Barney's deputy. And there is vast historical evidence that goes badly. Basically they all just tell the tales of like, man, you should have heard the shit that Gomer Pyle got put through when he was a temporary deputy, man. Barney really put him through the fucking ringer. And, he's the simpleton who lives behind a gas station, man. Like, you don't want any piece of what that man's dishing out.
Let's talk about Goober now, right?
Let's talk about Goober.
He sucks.
He sucks shit.
I don't know what's supposed to be funny about him. Gomer, I knew what was supposed to be funny. Goober, like, I guess the one joke is he gets a little too close to Barney. He like doesn't know what personal space is. He's not playing dumb guy really well. He's not I don't.
He's dumb. He's dumb guy. He is dumb guy, but he's way less specific of a version of a dumb guy as Gomer Pyle was. And Gomer Pyle's rendition of a dumb guy often made us very uncomfortable, and we often had several issues with it, both comedically and story and
morally.
But, you know, he was a guy who was dumb in a very specific way and had a very specific way of being dumb.
At least I got it.
Goober Pyle is just a dumb motherfucker, but not even that dumb.
Does he do anything dumb in this episode? It kind of just seems like he's not paying attention.
They have the one joke where they really give Goober his time to shine, where Barney goes like, all right, I'm going to give you a pop quiz. A fire engine, an ambulance, a police car, and some other car are all going through an intersection at the same time. What do you do? And Goober just goes, that's going to be a pretty good crash, huh? And it's a good joke.
I laughed at it.
It was a good joke. But that's really the only time where they give Goober anything to do. And then his other dumb guy thing is that actual situation happens and Goober trying to direct traffic just causes a massive traffic jam where everybody is furious.
I think the problem here is we see the traffic jam after it has happened. Like, we don't see Goober directing the traffic. I feel like that would have been a good opportunity to let this new guy shine, is do the bit where he is, like, trying to direct the traffic and it fails and it results in this jam. Instead, they just put all the cars together and then had us show up. Be like, look how bad this is. So it didn't really, like, give Goober anything. And Goober's just like, I don't know what happened, man. Bye.
The problem is that for all of our issues with Gomer Pyle, Jim Nabors is fucking hilarious.
Jim Nabors is funny.
You watch him on the Carol Burnett show?
Carol
the one
Burnett
that he
show.
was also on?
Yep.
Yeah, he annihilates on the Carol Burnett show. He's genuinely a hilarious motherfucker. So if you put Jim Nabors in that situation where Gomer Pyle has to direct traffic, he's gonna do some shit, my man.
It's gonna be so funny.
It's gonna be some hilarious physical comedy. This is just some dude.
He's just
this
a
is
guy.
Just some guy who is just delivering lines to you and is, I'm gonna call, probably going to be really fucking annoying moving forward.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a very piss poor replacement. But yeah, so Barney's real sin going into this is he got a bunch of fucking losers. Otis is the least loser out of all of them, but Otis does not want to be doing this. Otis repeatedly tries to not do this. Is like, I would like to leave very much, and I have no ambitions to be your deputy, and you are pretty much forcing me to do this, and I'm telling you right now, hand on a Bible, I'm going to do a bad job. And Barney is like, tough shit.
He assaults a child.
He assaults. So yeah. So it
Otis assaults a child in this episode.
It gets to the good part of this episode, which is just a Rube Goldberg machine of nightmares, as basically each of the deputies go on their own separate rampage. They don't show what Judd is doing, but he is stealing fruit. So Judd, while Goober Pyle is causing a massive traffic jam, Otis is accidentally assaulting it. He tries to help a child cross the street and just drags an unwilling child across pavement.
And the child falls down and is injured. And then the punchline is like his mom comes in. It's just like, we live on that side of the street.
And then Otis comes back and he's like, that mom just beat the shit out of me. What the fuck is going on?
Meanwhile,
while this is happening,
Opie's friend's head is still stuck in a sewer grate. I cannot stress enough. A child is in danger and it's just had his head stuck in a grate. I don't even know how it happens. At first I thought they said hand, but no, they said head. A little boy's just like Winnie the Pooh, just like with the rabbit hole, just like looking down at the sewer going, hope there aren't any clowns here.
Just like Opie, if this had gone on a little longer, like Opie would have just come in like, raccoons, we got raccoons in the situation. They're coming up from the sewers. I think they got his nose. We're not sure. There's a lot of screaming. We do know that there is blood. So what's like the ETA on the public works people that you called? because the situation does seem to be deteriorating.
I have to say, Barney does handle this in like the most realistically cop way possible, which is call someone else.
Yeah, basically, like
good, right? He called Public Works and he was like, "Hey, man, there's a kid stuck in a drain. You guys want to do that? Okay, bye."
Yeah,
fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Actually, yeah. Honestly, that's it's a defund the police shit, because what Philly PD would do is be like, "All right, let's get a couple of crowbars and try to get that kid out." Oh, well, we crushed him. Fuck, shit. Frame somebody.
Don't worry, small child. I'm just gonna shoot the grate, and we're just gonna shoot it off.
All right, we killed the kid. Don't worry, cover it up, and this will be a true crime mystery in 9 years. They'll be trying to solve the mystery of Great Boy. But yeah, so he calls somebody to come, and this should be his full attention.
I didn't think this scene was that funny when we watched it, but now that we're like talking it through, I think it's hilarious.
The thing that I like the most about it is, while you see what Otis is doing and you see what Goober is doing, you're only getting hints at what Judd is doing from phone calls that Barney is receiving, where he has to go on the phone and be like, "You can't just steal shit. Like, just because you're a deputy doesn't mean you get free stuff." So off in the distance, Judd has taken this police badge and it's just on a rampage.
An old man is just walking through the produce section being like,
boom, that's mine.
Gonna confiscate this, and oh, that's a chocolate bar. That's definitely getting confiscated.
Boom, yeah. So that is my favorite part, that there is just an old man fucking ravaging the town. He is Locust.
I wish we had gotten to actually see any of this, but also I kind of think that not seeing it works too, right? Like just leaving it to the imagination.
I think the thing that like works the best is like and whenever we give the Andy Griffith Show praise, we just basically talk about a time that this would have done it worse, because like if they had done this like the prior season, this scene would have gone on fucking forever, and it would have been really slow, and there would have been a lot of talking in between. And this whole thing is like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
so fast.
It's a fucking machine gun. Like, you can barely keep up with the next thing that is happening. Like, Aunt B just comes in and like yells like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then like he has to talk to the people because the kid's head is stuck in it still, and the service worker people can't find him. And then he gets the call about Judd robbing people blind.
Well, I think it's right. You only have 22 minutes in an episode, so you have a choice. You can either show these antics, or you can show the other antics later. Which is Barney and company trying to like have fake crimes. And I think they made the right call.
Those antics are significantly less funny.
Really?
Because I think those antics aren't that. I think.
I mean, we're trying to compare what is there to what's in our imagination, so it's not fair.
Yeah. I think the scene where it's a machine gun and it's a lot of, it's all kind of happening off camera, so it's left to your imagination, is way funnier than when they have to explain all the antics. They have to tell you that the antic that they are going to do, and then they have to do the antic, and then they have to debrief after the antic to talk about how well the antic went.
Yeah, that's true. Barney like calls Andy in the middle of the night and says, Hey, Barney or Andy, there's a bunch of kids out in the street. They're whooping and hollering and honking horns. And then it's just Gomer yelling, "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop." Sorry, Goober. God damn it. Goober.
Yeah, it's going to be... Forever. So, to explain why the crime wave is happening... That also made me laugh. This is the insane decision that is made. So Andy gets back, and Barney is like, "I do not want to be sheriff. I am not cut out for this. This is not the job for me. I want to stay a deputy. I want Andy to be the sheriff," which is honestly a bewildering moment of clarity from Barney Fife, where he realizes that he can't do something.
I mean, he lies to himself and convinces himself that it's because he wants to be out in the street and he doesn't want to be stuck behind a desk.
Action.
You know, but whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at night, man. I don't care. You know,
but so that's
Barney has admitted that he has limitations, so I'll take it.
Incredible character growth. Exponential character growth. Huge. The the level up thing is happening. Like, duh, nah, 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 nah. Like Barney has achieved basic awareness of himself.
It's literally the end of Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
Yes, the sword comes out of his chest. That happens, but Andy comes back and is like, I gotta think about whether or not I'm gonna take the job. It's a good offer. I'm gonna think on it. And Barney says we need to fake a crime wave so that Andy thinks that he can't leave because he is trapped here. When the alternate thing is just let Andy leave and don't take the job. Just continue being a deputy and they'll send a new sheriff.
Yeah, so that's the catch, right? I get this because you don't want this job, but you also don't want anyone else to have it, and you don't know who they're gonna send, right? So
it'll be somebody that'll hold him to basic accountability.
Right. Barney doesn't want that either. So it's Andy or nothing.
Oh, right, because a new sheriff would fire him within 30 seconds.
Oh, for sure.
First, as soon as he explains the one bullet thing, or accidentally shoots near a child, the new sheriff is gonna be like, whoa, fuck. Holy shit, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. We need to have a lot of meetings. Okay, yeah, no, Barney's actions make more sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I know what they're doing here.
Yeah, so they go about faking the crime wave. They do the youths hooping and hollering up and down Main Street. So Barney wakes Andy up in the middle of the night. They fake a robbery of the gas station by Goober, where
not that funny.
Not that funny. He makes up too menacing of a robber.
Yeah. And I guess this is also the new guy, George Lindsay's trying to shine. Andy drives up, says, "Hey man, what happened with the robbery?" A man came in with a black mask. He was driving a red sports car and he had a shotgun. And Andy was like, he had a black mask and a red sports car? You didn't think that was weird? And a shotgun? Well, maybe he was hunting ducks. With a mask? Well, they are out of season. Is that funny? I don't think that's funny. Whatever.
Comedically, the whole thing is on a downhill.
It's such a weird, this is where things get muddled. Like you said, the third act of this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I do like the bit where Barney is standing in between two cars, one driven by Goober and one driven by Otis, and the two cars drive off in other directions, and it makes Barney just flip and fall down. I thought that was funny.
It was pretty great.
That was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm just gonna run us to the finish here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it just kind of ends with Andy going, "Don't worry about it, man. I'm not taking the job."
Yeah.
And Barney's like, "You're not taking the job?" And Andy's like, "Yeah, I'm not taking the job because reasons. And also excuses. And also another word for reasons."
He
it's not really explained what made him change his mind.
I think he says Aunt B really doesn't want to, and Opie is in school here, so I guess it's not. Basically, he went home and Aunt B was like, I am dousing myself with gasoline, and you will get me out of this building as a charred corpse. I will light a match. I will I am protesting Vietnam, which we all should be doing right now because it is going on. Yeah, so I think it's basically Aunt B filibustered for not having to move. It's just her.
I guess we don't need a big moment to change Andy's mind. In fact, if anything, it's better that he just went, nah.
Yeah.
But
it would be, if Barney's plan was successful, it would be the worst thing he'd ever done to his friend.
Right. And Andy doesn't believe him for a second. He's like, "Man, I know what you're doing and you're bad at it."
Yeah.
And then he just says, "Don't worry about it. I'm staying here." And then, we're kind of treated to a moment where there is another two cars collide and everybody's yelling and arguing about it. And Barney's like, "Later, sucker. It's your job. You got to deal with this." And also, I'm sitting there just like, Barney, you still have to do stuff here. You're the you still have to be someone involved, right? You need to help. There's
God.
also a very funny bit about Barney throwing a tomato at Otis to test his reflexes. And Otis is very upset about it because he gets hit with the tomato. And they wait on that. They wait on that joke for 15 whole minutes. And the stinger is actually funny because Barney steps out and Otis just nails him with the tomato and goes, "Ha ha! See how you like it!" And then runs away like Wario. Like,
yeah, it's fantastic. It's good to have Hal Smith back.
It's good to have him back. Ratings on this episode, like, Andy
I'm gonna give it Andy. 10, bitch. I'm gonna do a 10.
I'm not gonna go a 10. I'm not gonna go as high as a 10 because the third act is kind of a mess. But I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm feeling frisky. I'm gonna give it a 10. Let's go.
It
It's
8.
the first one I've liked in months.
In a while. Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8. I liked this episode. Barney meter. I don't think there's not much, right? There's nothing.
There's the Vietnam points, but other than that, I mean,
0.
There's no. I think so. We had to graduate the Barney meter to societal horrors,
which I think is what it should have been to begin with.
Yes, yeah. No, we had to do that. But we can go. Let's do Barney meter Junior, where we just do the thing of like stuff that makes us personally upset.
I mean,
like,
that's obviously got to be an Opie meter, right?
Yeah, we got the Opie meter, which is just like the Barney's attempt at emotional blackmail is so fucked up. It's like if you were like, "Hey, I think I got a job in Cincinnati. I think I might move there." And then, like, as a result, I set our friend's house on fire and was like, "You can't leave. You're stuck here. Look what happens when you think about leaving. Things go horribly wrong for people. Sorry, man. Looks like your hands are tied. Like, 4 more years."
So yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, sure, but that's funny, right? Like, that's also funny. So yeah,
it would be pretty funny if I did that to one of our friends.
It would be hilarious if you committed arson and just picked one of our friends out of a hat and it was just like, "Well, burning your house down." That would be hilarious. What the hell, dude? What
if we burned Nicole's house down?
It's like
she would be so mad.
She would be very mad if she was homeless.
She would be furious.
If we burned down all of her possessions and left her homeless and maybe killed her cat, yeah, I think she would be very mad.
No, the cats get out, but now she has a bunch of fucking cats and nowhere to put them. She would say such snarky things.
Am I leaving that in, or?
I mean, one serious issue is if her house does actually burn down, I'm in some legit hot water.
I mean, you framed me for murder on this show, so what's one more? All right.
Yeah, it's true.
Before we move on, I do want to go ahead and give a shout out. We got a new Breaking Mayberry podcast review on Apple Podcasts from Lillian Appleby, who writes, "Defund the police and give the money to Marty and Dan. I really only listen to 3 or 4 podcasts because most of them are bad and they should feel bad. Breaking Mayberry is good, though. The only way Marty and Dan, also known as Mary and Stan, according to autocorrect, thanks Obama." Wow, haven't seen a thanks Obama joke in a while.
I know.
The only way Marty and Dan can make it better is the following. 1, more new episodes. We're working on it, Lillian. 2, a franchise of breaking ... starting with Breaking the Beverly Hillbillies and working their way through the 1966 CBS primetime lineup. Maybe. I don't think we can do anything with the Beverly Hillbillies. It's too silly. The problem with the Beverly Hillbillies, like the reason the Andy Griffith Show works is because it takes itself very seriously. It can't do Beverly Hillbillies because it's like, it is a joke.
I am into the idea of us franchising, though.
I do
Not
like
in
this.
terms of you and me doing more podcasts, but us getting people that sound like us to do podcasts for us.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Let's
hire.
Do you think we have enough episodes to train an AI version of us? That won't end poorly. And at number 3, more Marty's Comics Corner. Which I don't. So 2 things about that. Number 1, yeah, I'd like to do it. It's just like I've heard other podcasts do it. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work to effectively describe comics on podcasts. You got to have like 12-page Google Docs. Here, Lillian Appleby concludes with, "In conclusion, there are too many piles on podcasts these days. Please eliminate Goober. I am not a crackpot, but I should be a patron. Listen now, won't you? So solid Simpsons reference in there.
Delightful.
Solid Simpsons. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you for helping out. If you want to be like Lillian, you can also give us ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts or the podcast catcher of your choice. So yeah, thank you to Lillian. We appreciate that. And also, that was a good one. Let's go ahead and do Opie's Fortune, episode 9, shall we?
We can broad strokes
this one, right? I gave you the 1-sentence summary. We can go through this episode in about 4 sentences, right? So exactly that happens. Opie's walking down a road. He finds a coin purse. It has $50 in it, which is like $400 in today's money. They go through in painstaking details the rules of finders keepers here. Like, they turned it in, and Andy has to give them a week for people to come looking for it. Otherwise, it goes to the person who found it. And so for the next 15 minutes of this 22-minute episode, we are treated to a little boy thinking about the things that he could buy with $50. And they're not like particularly funny or interesting things. He's just like, what if I got a bike? Or what if I got a fishing pole? Or whatever. The week goes by. They count down every single second until like the exact moment at 3 o'clock. Opie's like, I got $50. Andy convinces him you need to save 40 of it, but here's $10. And then they look at, so they're like, this is great. And then Barney says, well, everything was solved there. Let me just go ahead and take a big sip of coffee and look at the Mayberry Gazette. There's a lost and found notice in the Mayberry Gazette, which came out that day for the $50 purse. And so Andy's like, shit, what do I do now? Because Opie's so excited. Andy does what you do as a parent. What you do as a parent is you take that $50 and you go and you give that man, the person who was missing it, $50. While he's going out and doing that, the man comes to the jail, comes and says to Opie, hey, is the sheriff around? I was really hoping somebody found my coin purse with that $50, and then leaves. And Opie just goes, like his eyes get really big. Listen, I mean, folks, you know what's happening here. You know exactly what's going to happen here. This is like the last 6 minutes of the episode. They intersect. Andy sees the old man who said, boy, I went to the sheriff's station. I talked to a little redheaded boy. He didn't know anything about it. Andy gets really mad. He's like, why didn't my son say anything? He knew that was yours. He comes back.
His big thing is, I'm not going to tell Opie that we saw this in the newspaper because I know that he is such a good kid that he would give the guy his money and it would break his heart, and I don't want to put him through that.
Yes.
So then he's like, oh, my son isn't as good of a person as I thought he was.
Yeah. Surprise! Yeah. Yes, he is.
He's a great kid.
Yeah. He goes and turns in the fishing pole that he just bought. And then everybody's like, aw, good for Opie. So, I mean, I watched this episode a week ago. Dan, you watched it much more recently. It's fine. It's sweet. It's cute.
It's not very funny, but it is perfectly nice.
It is too nice. I'm going to say it's too nice.
I found it basically it was like hanging out with my grandma, where it's like a perfectly nice experience. Nothing that interesting happens, but it's kind of sweet. Which
I mean, I guess there's space for that, but it's like, remember, there were 4 TV stations at this time. This was 25% of what you could watch was this.
This is the shit. This is why these people are fucking obsessed with this show, because they did shit like this where it's like, look at 2 people being really good people. Here, do you want to see a story about some people all being wonderful and doing the right thing in a cute way?
I guess this would have worked if you had thought for a second that Opie wasn't going to return the money. If there had been a minute where he was like, oh, well, should I give the money back? And no. All of this predicates on Opie being a good kid. And it's just so much of the show revolves around Andy being a great dad. But Andy isn't really doing any dadding, right? Because Opie's already he came out of the womb preformed to be morally upright. It's annoying. I didn't care for. I think that it's too sweet. It's sweet to the point of schmaltzy, I would say.
Yeah. There's like the big conceit of it is, Andy has a big confrontation. The thing that Opie bought was a new fishing rod, and Andy has his big confrontation where he finds Opie at the store and he's like, "Oh, you're buying some more stuff with that money that you know isn't yours. I thought I raised you better." And it turns out that Opie was selling his fishing rod, not buying a new thing.
Yeah, that's true. He comes in. I guess that's it, right? He does come and he sees that he's like, Opie smashed his piggy bank to get the rest of the money. And Andy's like, look at this maniac. Now he's out spending more. Nah.
Yeah. Which Opie is just getting all of the money together. It's nice. There's not a lot to...
there's
just
nothing here. It's...
You know what it is? And it's some Ted Lasso shit.
It's some Ted Lasso shit.
That's what's to say about it. It's some Ted Lasso shit.
It's so nice that there are no jokes. It's so nice that, like, it's so nice that it's like the antithesis of comedy, you know? Like,
yeah.
And here's the thing, right? I know that we complain when characters do bad things, and here I am complaining that every character is too good. And just to be clear, I'm going to clarify my statement here. I like it when characters do the wrong thing because that is what makes stories interesting. But if you are going to have a character do the wrong thing, you have to show that the thing is wrong, and then they have to learn that the thing is wrong because that's what gives your story a moral. Now, you don't have to give your story a moral. Lots of interesting stories don't have morals, but the Andy Griffith Show does have morals, you know?
Yeah.
So that is the clarification here. Let them, like, have them do something wrong. Have them think about doing something wrong. Yeah.
I'm
bitter.
I think I have my summary of it.
Okay.
This is not a very good episode of television. What this is a great children's book. This is an absolute kick-ass book you read to your kid before bedtime to teach them right and wrong. Like, that's what this is some good shit of. Like, if Mo Willems put this shit out, then yeah, we would all eat it up and it would get a fucking Pulitzer. Like, that's what this is. It's just not a good TV show that adults watch.
And that's what we have to give the Andy meter on, which is how do we care about. Andy meter's always been clearly defined. How good is this as an episode of television? 2.
If a grown-ass adult came and was like, I love this episode, I'd be like, do you also love when I jingle keys in front of your face, you grown-ass adult? Huh? Do you like that? You fucking weirdo? Like, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so I think that's our review of it, is like, but it's negative Barney meter. It's great. It's like, morally, it's wonderful. Nobody does anything bad.
You want to hear from a Mayberry wiki commenter who disagrees with us?
Oh, yeah.
Mayberry wiki commenter on 9/22/2021 writes, the commenter's name is Sniffescape.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of my favorites of all time. Yet again, Andy undermines Opie's character by assuming Opie knew about the money's owner. Therefore, he broke the bank in a hurry so he could cash in. However, it was completely opposite. Well, no, he did know about the money's whatever. As adults, I think the majority of us assume the worst. In this episode, the innocence of youth contradicts that way of thinking. Is it because of experiences having to do with broken trust done to us? Could it be experiences of broken trust that we have done to others? Either way, the Andy Griffith Show has a gentle way of peeling back the layers of pretense and allows us to live, if only briefly, comfortable in our own skin, soul exposed.
God damn it!
Surprisingly deep analysis from the Mayberry wiki commenters.
You know what? I'm gonna do the fucking Onion article. Post to the guy. Heartbreaking, the worst person you know just made a great point. Fucking, that guy got us. Oh, that guy torched our asses.
Destroyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. Fuck. Yeah. Yep. That's... Damn it! Oh my god, I can't believe we got fucked up by an Andy Griffith commenter like this.
I feel like...
Shit!
I feel like on the day that we reveal ourselves to them, we have to send them this episode, right? Like...
And be like, listen, like 800 points us. That's one for you. Like, we have a mountain of evidence that you guys suck, but you guys got that one.
You guys got us on this one. No, you know what? I'm sorry. That still doesn't make it a good TV episode. It still doesn't make it entertaining. It makes it sweet. I get it. Yeah.
It's a good case for negative 10,000 Barney meter.
Sure. And I'll even move my 2 to a 5 on the Andy meter.
Yeah, fuck. I'm gonna give it a 5 too.
Okay,
yeah,
that sounds about right.
You won. You son of a bitch. Are you happy? What's this prick's name?
It's Sniffascape, which is a weird name. Sniffa Sniff AH Scape. And Sniffascape does not have any other posts, or maybe they have a ton of posts and I just can't find them because Fandom's website is so broken and unusable.
All right, Sniffascape, you son of a bitch, you won this round.
We'll see you.
Good. We've finally found a worthy opponent.
All right, I think that's good.
What if he's just always there from here on out? Like, anytime we, like, really get into gear talking shit, there's Sniffascape in the comments be like, actually, this is a pretty good commentary on classism. Fuck! Damn it, he got us again! He's our Moriarty!
On Twitter, we are at Break Mayberry, but we're kind of boycotting Twitter. Join our Facebook group, Breaking Mayberry Fans. Please, if you like us, tell other people about the show. That's really our main way of promoting ourselves at this point, because we're not using the social medias as much as we should, or want to, because Elon broke everything. We'll get on Blue Sky. I'm going to get me a Blue Sky invite, and we'll get on that. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Music you heard, beginning and end, was done by Max Ludwig, who is on Twitch at Sleep Talkie. Patreon.com/Breaking Mayberry. $8 a month gets you access to everything. Please do the ratings and reviews. Dan, you got anything else before we leave?
No, I think that's good.
Cool. We will see you all down at the fishing hole.